From AccuWeather.com, this is AccuWeather Daily, a brief host-read article. It's weather news in a nutshell. A tropical rainstorm in the eastern Atlantic Ocean has evolved into Tropical Storm Erin, and AccuWeather experts say it may be on its way to a major hurricane this week. Meanwhile, there are additional areas also being monitored for potential tropical development this week. A cluster of showers and thunderstorms that moved off the African coast last week became a tropical rainstorm Sunday near the Cabo Verde Islands. On Sunday, that tropical rainstorm unloaded between 7 and 8 inches of rain in 5 hours. And according to sources, at least 6 people are dead, with more missing after flash flooding in Sal Vicente, Cape Verde Islands. Further strengthening has resulted in its official designation as a tropical storm. Now, Erin is expected to rapidly intensify and become a hurricane, the season's first, later this week, and a major hurricane shortly thereafter. AccuWeather's Chad Merrill said there are several factors working in the system's favor, including a lack of dust, warm water, and a lack of disruptive breezes. Erin has already moved past the Cabo Verde Islands, located just off the west coast of Africa. The tropical storm will move westward over the Atlantic this week before it is expected to begin to curve to the northwest from Thursday into Friday. Now, that slight curve should keep the main part of Erin forecast to be a major hurricane north of the islands in the northeast Caribbean. The Windward Islands, as well as Puerto Rico and Hispaniola, could experience some rough surf and seas and perhaps squalls, depending on the structure and the exact track. Now, residents and visitors in Bermuda and the Bahamas should closely monitor Erin's progress. AccuWeather's Alex De Silva said that Erin will be guided along by the northeast trade winds initially, and then the clockwise circulation around the massive Bermuda High over the central Atlantic. It is the shape of that oceanic high, as well as the approach of a cool front and dip in the jet stream near the Atlantic coast, that will determine the exact track of the projected major hurricane as it approaches the Atlantic coast of the U.S. next week. If the Bermuda High remains fairly round or yields to the approaching cool front and the jet stream dip, Erin is likely to turn to the north before reaching the U.S. If the Bermuda High extends well to the west, it could block the potential major hurricane's northward path. In that scenario, the cold front and jet stream dip would be delayed. The result would be a potential track very close to or onshore in the U.S., probably somewhere from the Carolinas northward. Dangerous conditions may develop in Bermuda and parts of the Bahamas as well. Now, should Erin grow considerably in size and strength, tropical storm conditions may extend outward 100 miles or more. Now, this is why it is important not to just focus on the center of the eye path, but the storm as a whole. A major hurricane passing 100 miles east of the U.S. or west of Bermuda could still bring tropical storm conditions in terms of wind, heavy seas, and heavy rain. In the U.S., land that extends farther to the east might be the most prone in this case, such as coastal areas of North Carolina, Long Island, New York, and Cape Cod, Nantucket, and Martha's Vineyard in New England. Now, in Canada, Nova Scotia, and Newfoundland could be facing more significant impacts from Erin late next week. Okay, so what else is happening? Well, there is a pulse of thunderstorm activity in the northeast Gulf that is being monitored for short-term tropical development. Wind shear there is low, the water is warm, and the intensity of the thunderstorms has become significant. At the very least, torrential downpours may lead to flooding in the Florida, Alabama, and Mississippi panhandles, and perhaps as far west as southeastern Louisiana into midweek. Small craft and beachgoers should be on the lookout for gusty squalls and waterspouts. The development window for this will likely expire by the middle of the week as steering breezes shift from west to north, which will guide any tropical depression that forms at the last minute onshore. Across the rest of the Atlantic, 3 areas of interest are being monitored for tropical development this week. The first area is over the open central Atlantic, where there is a low risk for tropical development early to midweek. No impacts to land are expected as it tracks northward. Another area was originally associated with showers and thunderstorms just off the Carolina coast early last week. That cluster of showers and thunderstorms was a couple of hundred miles to the southeast of Nova Scotia on Monday and will spin ashore into Atlantic Canada by midweek. AccuWeather hurricane experts are also highlighting a low risk for tropical development later this week, as yet another cluster of thunderstorms is expected to move off the coast of Africa. This area will have to be monitored for potential impacts to the Caribbean in the long range. AccuWeather's team of hurricane experts expects this hurricane season to have 13 to 18 tropical storms, of which 7 to 10 will become hurricanes, and 3 to 5 likely to evolve into major hurricanes. That's all for now. You can find more regional forecasts and science-based articles at AccuWeather.com. And for your local forecast at your fingertips, download the AccuWeather app. Enjoy the rest of your day, be safe, and I'll be back tomorrow with more from AccuWeather.